Well, it's late April and the wood anemones are going over. The bluebells are looking reasonable, but those deer eat bluebells, those nasty little imported deer. These look in pretty good condition. I've started tidying up in the wood and been very late about it because the weather's been so awful. But never mind, we're starting to do it now. So what brings me out looking at vehicles today? Well, oh dear, another old car. I bought another old car. I'm not really an enthusiast for these things. I've always preferred bikes, but my chum I always had to give me first refusal, so he did. And there it is. It's old, but it's in remarkably good condition. As you can see, it's a 51, so it'll be 22 years old this September. But it's in almost like a 2-year-old car condition. There's absolutely not a, well, there is a mark on it, but it's one of the few cars that you look at on camera and you can honestly walk up to it and say, yeah, that looks pretty good. It's the last of the MGs, an MGF. This one is the limited edition, which they only did for 1 year, and it's the, well, it's the collectible one, I suppose. And it's called a Trophy 160, as you can see down there, which means that it has 160 horsepower, and it's quite nippy. I haven't really tried it out, just bimbled around a bit in it. I thought it'd be a nice summer car for an old man. As I say, it was going, he'd bought an MGB GT because he's an MG fiend, and he said, you've always been bothering me, would you like it? So what could I say? I had to say yes, didn't I? And this particular model with 11 spoke wheels has got the big discs and the twin calipers, which makes it, stop pretty well. I mean, it's a real bone shaker when you're driving along in it. My goodness, there's not much in the way of suspension, but it is in exceptionally good condition, so I couldn't refuse. It's got a sort of limited edition interior. I think it's mostly colour coding and half leather, that sort of stuff. Half leather seats, absolutely pristine, all of it. Not a mark that I can find. I don't know if those MG seats were standard. But there we go. Excuse me. Apparently you have to be very careful not to lock your keys in the boot, I've been advised. What boot there is, because it's tiny. And why is it tiny? Because there's the engine. It's a mid-engine machine, which apparently makes the handling pretty good, for those that know. I don't. So you can just about get a few odds and ends in there. That's the tonneau cover there. Comes with a hard top, which I will put on in the winter, I guess. But as you can see by looking inside, it really does just look like a new car in many ways. Apparently these K-series engines were known for blowing gaskets, and Richard did change the head gasket on this one, and he put stainless steel exhaust, stainless steel heating pipes and all that sort of stuff on it. So he's done all the modifications because he is a mechanic. He's a co-owner of my local garage, and he's a top class guy, a really excellent Iceman as well. So there it is. So almost non-existent boot. Interestingly, the bonnet release is here, which is, took me a little while to find that bonnet release, and I'm told that if you lock your keys in here, the only way in is to break the glass, and we don't want to do that, do we? So I must be very, very careful not to do that. And this spoiler is a trophy edition. There are all sorts of little extras. The 11-spoke wheels were a limited edition for this model. I don't even know if I can get the bonnet open, actually. I've got no idea how it works. Oh, not too bad. Well, what's under the bonnet? Very little, as you can see. But what is distressing, if I come round here, is that whoever was the original owner of this car had a space saver spare wheel, and that was an optional extra, I'm told. Everybody else got the nasty no spare wheel kit, which is here, which has got a compressor in it and stuff to put into your tyres. Well, I don't like that. I'm not into not having a spare, so I've already started looking. I've bought the proper MGF jack and everything, new old stock, and the correct mounting. All I've got to do now is find the correct wheel, which is either a space saver, 16 inch, because all the others were 15 and 14 inch wheels, or an identical wheel to one that's on it. So there you go. You buy something and immediately you start buying stuff. But how strange is that? No engine. Yeah, very strange. Anyway, for those that are keen on these things, apparently the mid-engine works very well and does everything it's supposed to do, apparently. I'm the wrong person to ask. So, there we go. Another old car to add to the list of old cars. And it's very low down for an old man. So, let's see if we can do something with it. It doesn't sound too bad. It's not what you'd call too noisy. I'm not into noise. So, handbrake off. Can't really do much on a lawn, can you? And I don't drive very fast at the best of times in cars. I always think they're very inferior to motorcycles. I don't get the same sort of fun. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. You know, I'm probably reaching the end of the line, so I thought, well, I'll go on. I'll then buy the damn thing. Even though I'm trying to cut down, which is a bit of a laugh. But I am trying. So there we go. One new old car to add to the list of junk. But as I said, it was in such nice condition that I just couldn't resist it, and that's the end of it. Okay.